You've got your seat. You're going to sit down for meditation. You're going to lengthen out your spine. And you place your hands wherever you feel comfortable. And that might be on your knees, on your thighs, or even in your lap, wherever feels comfortable. And you lengthen the height of the body. And you lengthen and grow through the crown of the head. And then closing the eyes. Tongue in the bottom of your mouth. And taking a moment to connect to you. Relax your eyelids. Relax your forehead. And find your breath breathing in and out through the nose. Noticing the cool air in the nostrils as you inhale and the warm air as you exhale. As you inhale and exhale through the nose, try and lengthen your inhalation, expanding the size of your body as you inhale, slowly exhaling. And just let the thoughts in your brain float on by. Concentrate on your breath now. And count to 4 as you inhale and 4 as you exhale. So you're giving your mind something to do, so you can just take a break from thinking. So concentrate, 4 counts in, 4 counts out. Four counts in, 4 counts out. 2 more times. And this time we're going to move on to positive mantras. Mantra is like an affirmation. As you inhale in your mind's eye, you say to yourself, I have all I need. I have all I need. for all you need is inside of you. I have all I need. Two more times as you inhale. I have all I need. This time as you breathe, you say to yourself, I am all I need. I am all I need. As you inhale and exhale. I am all I need. Two more times. And then this time, I am more than enough. I am more than enough. I am more than enough. For if we can tap into our unlimited power that lies within us, we are confident to do anything. We are secure in ourselves. We are without judgment of others. We are content. And we all have that within us. But sometimes we need to be quiet to be able to tap into it. Welcome to today's practice. My name is Simone, and we're going to do all about the inner and the outer thigh and hip. Please open your eyes. And to balance out your hips, we need to change the cross on the legs. So if you were seated, please change the cross on the legs. If you were lying down, you're welcome to just stay there for another few moments. As you change the cross on your legs, notice how it feels. Can you still keep the weight even through the sit bones? So balance the sit bones, sit up nice and tall. You may have a little bit of fatigue going on in the core as the body has been upright. Nice and tall in your spine. Wherever you are, can you inhale and take your arms above your head? And can you notice whether you charge the arms or whether you let them just hang above your head? If they're just hanging above the head, let's awaken them and let's reach to the fingertips. Straightening out the elbows. Maybe the arms need to go lower if that causes any discomfort. But let's go open, long, and now take the arms out to the side wherever you are. Good. Pull the shoulder blades into the back body. And now turn the palms of your hands to face up and back. So you're trying to take the palms of the hands to face back. As you slightly rotate those arms, straighten them, straighten them. Now press them slightly back, broadening the chest. And release them, lower them down. Bring your shoulders away from your ears, please. Palms of your hands are up, shoulder blades depressing down the back body. Scoop your navel in. And then release. Let's release these legs now. If you're lying on the floor, please come up to a seated position. We're going to start with maybe just one folded towel underneath the bottom. One folded towel underneath the bottom and just sit on top. And then take your legs wide apart, please. Now help the legs, help them go consciously wide. You're going to feel obviously that line of pull down the inner thigh and through the groin. Let's try and extend into the heel bones and draw the toes back, and your thigh muscles should go up towards your hips. Now in this position, some of you will be able to sit up nice and tall, and some of you will feel like you're being pulled back. If you feel like you're rounding in your lower back and you're being pulled back, put your hands behind you and assist the body to sit up tall. If you can use the strength of the torso, take your arms out in front of you and interlock. Now everybody squeeze the thighs up towards your hips. Pull the navel towards the back of the spine. Sit tall. You're trying to use your torso strength here whilst pressing and lengthening those inner groins. Now if your hands are interlocked, just press your fingers away and squeeze your elbows towards each other. Pull the navel in, and maybe you'll be able to take the arms up. If that causes discomfort in the lower back, please bring them down. The one rule in yoga is you are not allowed to suffer. There's enough suffering in the world. So you can work hard, but you find a place in the pose where it's not suffering. And then release, bring the arms down. Now if you've got your hands were lifted, bring your hands in front of you now, and you're just going to try and tip from the hip and walk your hands a little further forward. But don't lose the connection in the legs. Toes up, kneecaps up. Press down through the inner groin and the inner knee and the inner leg, wherever your arms are. That doesn't change. As we're lengthening out those inner thighs, we're lengthening out those groins, hands behind or in front. Just want a really long hold here. Good. And then bring yourself up to the center. Now from this position, take your right leg and fold it, and you can bring it in either on the side or on the foot. So whichever feels good. So now we've just got one leg out and one leg in. With this leg, when it's folded, some of you are going to look like this, and that's okay. All you will do is take your other towel or blanket and you will pop that under your shin. Just want that leg to be comfortable. So if it's not grounded on the floor, then fill the distance in. That way this hip isn't pulling. Now extend this straight leg, lift the body up, pull the abdomen in and up, and take your left hand on the inside of that left leg, press into that, lift the chest, lift your right arm and just lean slightly to the side. Now sit down into your, what's that? That's your right hip. Sit down into your right hip. Turn your head to look at your arm. Charge that left leg, don't let it flop. You're pressing into that hand on the inside of the leg, so it just helps you to turn the body a little bit. And then release, bring that up. Now take your hands behind you and take that leg back out into that wide position again, re-establishing Upavista Konasana, wide-legged angle. Now draw the thighs up towards your hips, hands wherever you're comfortable, forward or behind, and you're trying to get this inner groin down towards the floor. Now I know this is a long hold, and with long holds you get a little bit of stiffness, which sounds counterproductive, but it isn't. The stiffness is because we're starting to break down scar tissue, we're starting to lengthen and release. You may be stiff in the pose, but fabulous tomorrow. And then from here, now you're going to fold your left leg. So hands behind you so you can fold that leg in. Maybe it's just hanging like this. If it is, Pop another blanket underneath the knee. You've got your right leg straight. You're trying to have the body forward. Take the right hand on the inside of the knee. Flex the foot. Press into that. And as you press into it, so you can sit up nice and tall. And then lift the left. And just reach out of the armpits slightly over. But as you go slightly over, make sure you're pressing down into your left hip bone, please. Good. Flex the right foot, draw the toes back. Super duper. And then release. Take your hands behind you one more time in Upavista Konasana, that wide-legged angle. Trying to come onto the front, on the front of the inner thigh, inner groin, hands down wherever you feel comfortable, holding that position, drawing the knees and the toes back. Beautiful. And then release and bring those legs in. Ay, 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 ay. Everybody okay? So far, so good. Okay, now I'm going to increase the height under your bottom. So now you're going from one towel to 2 or 3. So fold them so they're pretty thick, maybe like you had for your meditation, and then sit back on top. Good. And then have your strap close by. So sitting on top of the 2 nice thick folded towels. And the reason we're doing that is just to take the pressure off the lower back. Okay, so in this position, let's go. Soles of the feet come together and line up the heels of the feet, where the heels join. Line that up, please, with the center of your own groin, pelvis area. Now, really common that when we get into this position, we kind of get this slumping in the back and the spine. So if you could maybe take your hands on your ankles and then maybe use your hands on your ankles to try and help lift you up nice and tall. Draw your elbows back, and as you draw the elbows and the shoulders back, you're trying to get your breastbone out. So there's a little bit of effort there on the upper body. And then as you do that, press your thighs towards the floor. But I also like to say, shoot the thigh bone out. So you're trying to shoot the thigh bone out and down. Because I don't want you to just put your mind in your knee. Think about this, the groin, the thigh bone as it sits in the hip socket. Reach it away, press it down. Lift the chest. Straighten the spine. Pull the breastbone forward. Good. Now take your strap, and you can bring your strap underneath your feet. You can use your hands now on your strap to pull so you can sit up nice and tall, and you can invite those thighs to go lower. Now you might find that pulling on the strap doesn't give you any extra height, so maybe you'd prefer to be pulling on your ankles. Either or. What we want is the height of the spine, so that the taller your spine is, the more your hips are going to settle and the more those thighs will drop. There is definitely some work in the muscles in the posture here to keep us upright. You can even draw the abdomen in. You're just asking the thighs to go a little bit heavy, pulling on the strap or on your ankles as you open the groins. This is also a really good pose for indigestion and bloatedness and gas. It's a really good way to calm the digestive system. And then, release. Hands behind, bring the legs together. Feeling a little bit stiff in that hip. Lovely jubbly. Okay, now we're going to get into the posterior hip, and we're going to start with pigeon pose. And I'm going to guide you through, and I'm going to give you lots of options. We're going to start with these two folded towels where they are on the right hand side. I'm just going to switch myself around just so you get a better view of the first time around. So they're on the right hand side. I'm going to start kneeling and then I'm going to bring my right leg forward. I'm going to move the heel away from the groin and I'm going to take those two towels and I'm going to pop them underneath the right buttock. And then I'm going to bring the hands at the side of the knee and I'm going to be upright. And now if I show you that from the front, the intention when that right leg goes forward is that if I just sat down on the floor, I would be completely twisted. So to keep the pelvis in neutral, that's where we need that little bit of support underneath that bottom. If you're feeling any discomfort here in the knee, you need more height under your bum. If you really feel it's not for you, if you're working with knee issues, if you've got concerns in your knee and you just can't get into this position, then your option today is to do the number 4. So you do pigeon pose like this with a number 4 shape and you pull the leg in. So wanting everybody to feel successful is absolutely key. Because yoga is as much about your mind and your mental health as it is about your physical health. And we all need to feel successful. Nobody wants to go to a yoga class to look at a bendy yoga teacher and feel completely unsuccessful in yourself. The intention is for you to be successful, for you to realize how amazing you are. So press your left thigh towards the floor. Feel that stretch in your left hip and your right buttock. And now let's go down onto the elbows. If you're on the floor, just stay in that number 4 shape and have a nice long hold. In this position, again, there should be no discomfort in the knee. If there's discomfort in the knee, we usually need just more height under the bottom. Now we've come down to the floor, you're going to be feeling this stretch across the outer hip buttock area. As we're getting in to those outer hips now, those outer groins. This is a fabulous pose. So good for the health of your lower back and your knees. A couple more breaths so you can enjoy the hold. And then release. Come on up to the center, please. Tuck your back toes under. You start kneeling. Slide your supports to the other side. If you're on the floor, please change legs. Slide your left leg forward. Move that heel just a little bit away from your own groin. And if you sat down on the floor, you'd be twisted. So prop your hip, prop your bottom. Bring that 1, 2, 3, 4 blankets, whatever you need, underneath that left buttock so you can get your hips somewhat square and level. You should be on the top of the knee. You should be on the top of the foot. And the intention is to try and get that right hip to press down towards the floor. This is the Iyengar yoga teacher in me. We focus on the detail and the alignment that is absolutely key for the health of your lower back. Pressing that right thigh down towards the floor. We should be feeling a lovely stretch in the right hip, front of hip, and then a connection in the left posterior hip. Then from here, let's go down onto the elbows, please. Bringing ourselves down onto the floor, releasing the outer hip and buttock area. And then release. Tuck the back toes under, please. Push on your hands. Come on up. We're going to clear the mat. And we're going to come up to a standing position. Ideally, you're in bare feet, just so that you don't slip. And we're going to take the feet apart. So you're going to take your legs nice and wide. And as you take your legs nice and wide, obviously we're now starting to work on that inner groin. Now with the legs nice and wide, take your right toes and turn them 90 degrees all the way out. Please make sure your legs are wide. It should be uncomfortable in that width. Shouldn't be where you normally stand. Left toes in, square your body to me. Now press into your feet, build a foundation at the ground up. So press down into your toes, press down into your feet. Pull your thighs up towards your hips and feel these legs really solid. They should give you confidence. Extend your arms, drop your shoulders down the back body. Press your feet into the floor. Pull your thighs up. If your legs are nice and wide, you're already activating that inner and outer thigh. Squeeze thigh muscles into the bones. And now you're going to bend your right knee. As you bend your right knee, your intention is to keep the knee back in line with the baby toe and drop your hips down towards the floor. And if you can't drop the hips, but instead, some of you have now lunged over the front leg. We don't want to lunge over the front leg. Bring the body back. Take your legs a touch wider and go down instead. Pull back in your back arm. Connect to your back leg. And then turn your head and look at your fingers. Now squeeze those inner groins wide apart. Press down into the left outer foot. That's going to fire that left outer leg chain. Hips down low. The pose of the warrior is strong, confident building pose. Push into your feet, stand up, change over. So I want active inner and outer thigh here. So if you look how wide your arms are, that's how wide your legs should be. Turn the other leg out. Yes, beautiful. 90 degrees out, hips face forward, shoulders down, inhale. Exhale, bend the left knee. Be careful, team. Try not to move the body over that left knee, please. You're just going to load up that kneecap. Bring the body at the center, that's it. And go down. Excellent. Press your feet into the floor. Squeeze the back leg, lift your heart. Go down, down, down. You want to feel like you're stretching those inner legs wide apart. You want to feel like your right outside foot's on the floor so the outside hip is working. Turn your head. Pose of the warrior, Virabhadrasana 2. A strong, confidence-building pose. Feet nice and firm. And then inhale, stand up. Relax your shoulders. Turn your toes. Now, turn your toes so that both toes face forward. You still got this nice long leg. Now, if you don't feel secure, connect to your feet. Press down into the mounds of your big toes. Press into your baby toes and squeeze the thighs to the hips. Put your finger in your hip socket. Inhale, lift your heart. Exhale, lead with the breastbone. Extend forward and bring your hands to the floor. Now, I know this is going to stretch your hamstrings, but we are here for that length on that inner groin. So today we just got the hands on the floor. We're going to pay attention to the pinky toe and the outside edge of the foot. So pinky toe, outside edge of the foot, press into it. Feel how the archway of your foot and your inner foot lifts slightly as you press into the outside edge of your feet. As that happens, grip the thighs, lift the buttocks up, and feel the inner knees press away from each other. Press the inner knees away from each other and lift the buttock bones up. So you still have a curvature in that lower back. Try not to round that lower back. Good. And then from here, you've got to press into your feet to bring yourself all the way up. Use your legs, and then bring your feet together. We're going onto the floor. We need the strap, please. You're going to lie down on your back. These inner groins are certainly going to know that you've been to yoga today. Lying on your back, staying with that inner groin, take that right leg in and place your strap across the bottom of your right foot. Now I've got a yoga strap, so I've just made a loop and I'm just going to hold it with one hand, but you can hold with two, it's no problem at all. So from this position here, take your right leg up nice and straight. So the leg is nice and straight. Press the back of the buttocks into the floor and straighten your left leg out. Now, if you feel any discomfort in your lower back, please keep your left leg bent. Back of the buttocks down in the floor, lift up through the back of the heel. Now keep the left side of your body on the floor, take a breath in, and as you exhale, take the right leg away from you. Taking the right leg away from you to open that inner groin and hip. Now reach out into your inner heel. Reach into the inner heel. Squeeze the muscles of the leg into the bone. A very solid leg position. Left hip, left buttock, left arm, solid on the floor. And then bring that leg back up to the center. We're staying on the right. We're staying with the inner groin for now. So you got your right leg up straight. This time, take your right leg, the whole of the leg, and turn it so it rotates out until the toes are facing about 10 after on the clock. So the whole of the right leg in the hip socket rotates, toes are now 10 after on the clock. Grip the muscles of the legs into the bone. Left arm and shoulder on the ground. Inhale. Exhale, take that right leg away again. Reach into the inner ankle. Reach. Don't let your left side of the body come up, please. Left hip down, left shoulder down. Left side of the body should be working. Don't let that leg flop out. Now squeeze that right leg into the bone. Lengthening through that inner ankle. And then come all the way back up to the center. Fabulous. Bend the knee. Remove the strap. Staying with the inner groin, we're doing the other side. So left leg. Strap goes across the back of the heel. We start with the left leg straight. Back of the buttocks pressing down into the floor. Then we can take the right leg out. And when the right leg goes out, please don't let it relax and flop out. Press out through the heel, pull the toes up, ground the right side to the floor, right arm on the floor. Squeeze the muscles of the left leg into the bones. And now take that left leg away from you. And as you take it away, make sure that your right hip, right buttock, they're down on the floor. You don't want to have that right hip lifting off the floor. Squeeze your left leg straight. And reach into your inner ankle. So you're really trying to lengthen that inner line. Squeeze right leg. And then bring it up to the center. Now look at the leg. And externally rotate. So feel the hip, the thigh moving in the hip socket as it turns the leg out and the toes are facing 10-2 on the clock. Deep breath in. Squeeze the muscles of that left leg into the bones. And now take that left leg away again. Ground your right hip, right thigh, right shoulder. Hold it there. And then bring it up to the center. Bend the knee, please. Remove the strap. Bring your right leg back in. We're going to go into the outer hip now. That was your inner hip. We're going into your outer hip. Take your right leg once again up straight. Press the back of the buttocks down into the floor. Lift the back of the heel bone up towards the ceiling. Toes down towards your face. Now bring the strap. Left hand. Right shoulder on the floor. Deep breath in. As you exhale, pull that leg all the way across the body. Let the hip lift up. Let the left leg flop out. And that right leg come all the way across. Now, can you keep that right leg nice and straight? It's going to feel fabulous. It's a fabulous pose for the health of your lower back. It's releasing your IT band, your posterior hip. But you've got to keep working it. Don't let the leg just go heavy and floppy. The right leg, reach into the heel. Reach, lengthen that side of the body. Keeping the right shoulder down. And then release and bring it all the way up to the center. And change over. Left leg comes in, please. Bring your heel, the strap across the back of the heel. Let's straighten out the leg. Cement the pelvis into the floor. Straighten that left leg. Flex the foot. Now bring the strap into your right hand. Put your left arm and shoulder out to the side. Take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, squeeze in the left leg, the muscles into the bone. Pull across the body. Let the bottom leg flop out to the floor. Keep your left shoulder down. Please don't relax the left leg. Keep squeezing the muscles into the bones. Keep reaching into that left heel bone. Left shoulder down. Feeling that fabulous release all the way through the outer hip, outer thigh, and into the lower back. Relax the leg that's on the floor, the right leg, but keep an action in the left. And then release, please. Bring that leg all the way up to the center and bend the knee. Take your arms out to the side. Lift your feet up off the floor. Squeeze the knees towards each other. And now you're going to take your knees up towards your right armpit and down towards the floor. So squeeze the knees together. Go up towards the armpit and then down towards the floor. Now hopefully your left arm is still on the ground. If the left shoulder's too high, just slide your knees down a little bit lower so you can get your shoulder on the floor. Now the intention here is that the chest is trying to face to the ceiling as we release this lateral line of the hip, the outside line of the hip. Couple more breaths. And then bring the legs up to the center, please. Shoulders stay on the floor. Squeeze the knees towards each other. And now you're going up towards the left armpit and down towards the floor. Keeping the right shoulder down. Trying to keep the chest facing the ceiling. Good. Shoulders are down on the floor. Releasing the outside line, the outer hip line. And then release. Bring the knees back up to the center. And now we roll to the right. And we bring ourselves up. And we're going back into a seated position. And for the comfort of your lower back, I'm going to ask that you fold up your towels and you sit on two nice thick blankets or towels. So fold those, two of them. If you've got issues in your lower back, then maybe three will feel more comfortable. And let's go back into a seated position. Okay. Straps close by, seated position. The left leg is straight, the toes are facing up, the thighs are up towards the hip, and the leg is nice and solid. Now the right leg, that's going to step over your left. So you step your right leg over your left. Please keep the left leg solid. That's so important so that we keep the security of your pelvis. Now sit a little bit further forward on your blanket, almost like you're going to slip off it. And take your left arm around the right knee. Put your right hand on the floor. Charge that straight leg. Sit up tall and just twist over that bent knee. And just sit down a little bit into your left buttock, please. Just assisting yourself over that bent knee as you're releasing the outer hip, outer thigh. And the bonus with all this outer hip, outer thigh work is that it's really good on the lower back. And release, please come back to the center. Unfold. Charge your right leg, that's going to keep our pelvis secure. Muscles up towards the thighs. Bend the left. Make sure your right toes stay facing up. Step your left leg over. As you step over, sit down into your left buttock. Wrap the left arm around. Put the right hand down. Sit up tall. Pull the leg in. Rotate. Sit down into the left buttock. Sit down into it. Heavy in the left buttock. Lift the heart. Turn the body. Look over the back shoulder. Sit down into that left buttock. And release, come back to the center. Good. Now from here, bend both knees, take your hands behind you. So you're leaning back, hands behind your knees bent. Flex the right foot and just place it so that the right ankle is on the left thigh, and then you can step that left leg back in. So I've got my right foot flexed, that's important, otherwise it won't stay. I've got my right ankle sitting on my left thigh, close to the knee. I'm going to sit into both buttocks. I'm going to walk that foot in, and I'm going to try and walk my body in towards that right thigh. You should be getting a good stretch across the back of the right buttock. Just try and use the height of your breastbone and your posture. Press the right thigh away. And then release. Take it down. Kind of slide your feet out a bit just so you can get in. Left foot flex. Place that left foot on that right thigh. Press that left thigh down and away from you. Walk in the right. Lift up the body. Sit up nice and tall. Keep pressing that left thigh away from you. And release. Lean back. Slide the legs out a little bit. Now take the right leg, flex again. Place it on top of the left. And now straighten out that left foot and bring yourself into a seated position. So now you've got that left leg straight. Can you turn the toes up? You've got that right foot flexed. It's on that right thigh. And you can either hold it there, or we're going to put the strap around the left foot, and we're going to invite that right thigh to just get a little bit heavy. And now pull on the strap and walk yourself forward. And this is such a complicated pose with so much going on and usually quite a lot of restriction in the hips. So please don't be too hard on yourself. There's a lot going on. You've got a straight left leg. You've got your right ankle sitting on your left thigh or knee. You're trying to ask that left thigh to sink down, and then you're also folding your body forward. So much going on. Try and lift the breastbone wherever you are. Should be feeling it in the outer hip. And then release, bring yourself up, unfold that leg. Change over, straighten your right, bend your left, flex the foot, and just place that up on the thigh near the knee. Take your strap and just kind of lasso your left foot. Sit up nice and tall. Keep some flexion in the ankle. If you don't have the flexion, then the foot will just kind of flop off. So some flexion in the ankle. Finding a place where it's comfortable on that thigh. Try not to be pushing down into your kneecap. Lift your chest up and lean yourself forward. Now, if you're finding it really painful on your thigh, you can take a little bit of cushion and put the foot on a cushion, like a folded towel or something like that, if you're finding it really harsh in your own thigh. Keep that flexion, lift that breastbone, invite that thigh to sink down. It's like I'm tying you up in knots today. That's what happens when you start to get into that outer hip area. And then release, bringing yourself up. Remove the strap. Okay, so now we're going back down onto the floor, and we're going to take the two folded towels, one on each side of the mat. We're going to start seated, bringing the soles of the feet together. Then we lift the bottom. We move it towards the feet and we let the legs flop out. And then we go back down to the floor. Soles of the feet together, knees are flopping out to the side. So we're going to start with a little bit of what we call an active pose, where the soles of the feet are together, the knees are not touching the floor. We've got that nice space going on in the hips and that inner groin. We're just holding this position here. Just taking a nice active release in the front of the hips. So today it's all been about that inner and outer hip, groin, thigh area. It's usually quite a restricted area. We're normally very tight on the inner and the outer hip. So be nice to yourself. We were still amazing. We still did yoga. And then release, bring the knees up to the center. Give the groins a little bit of a break, because now we're going to transition into relaxation, and I'm going to try and use the blankets to support your hips as we finish our final pose. Now, if you're cold and you want to put another layer of clothing on, do. If you want to put your socks on, put your socks on. If when you're lying down on your back like this, if your head, your chin is higher than your forehead, please can you put something underneath your head? Otherwise, you're going to let the soles of the feet go together again. Let the legs drop out to the side, but I'm going to take the blankets. Maybe I need to fold them again. And I'm just going to rest them in either at the shin or the thigh or the knee. You're just going to support yourself so that the legs are not just floating in the space. You can support under your shin, you can support under your thigh, you can support under your knee. You don't want to feel like the blankets are lifting the knees up. You still want to feel like you're getting a stretch in the groin, but just so that they're not overworking, so it becomes more of a passive stretch. If you're cold, you can always cover yourself with a towel or a blanket. And as virtual classes are, well, I think they're a gift, an absolute gift, and definitely a way to help us get through the current situation, but also a great gift if we're just traveling and we're not at our regular studios. Bring yourself to a position where you can close your eyes. Resting the tongue into the bottom of your mouth. Let go of your jaw and allow the lips to separate. And let the jaw hang loose. Feel the jaw fall back. Relax your neck. Relax the throat. And as you exhale, let the shoulders go heavy. As you exhale, let the arms be heavy. And notice how good you feel. As you inhale and exhale through the nose. you say to yourself, I am all I need. I am all I need. I am powerful. I am strong. I am kind. I am content. I am powerful. I am strong. I am kind. I am content. I am all I need. 5 more times. And now, as we prepare to end our practice, move your fingertips, move your toes. Bring the knees back up to the center. And roll to the right hand side, bringing yourself up. And just sit however you feel comfortable for the final pose. Bring the palms together to the heart center. Close the eyes and bow the head. As you bow the head, you're humbling the ego. As you rest the thumb on the heart center, you're taking the strength from within you. With your fingers to the world, you're sharing your strength. You're honoring the strength of others. From me to you, and you to each other. Be strong, stay safe, be kind. Namaste. Lift your head, open your eyes, place your hands. Thank you. Hope you enjoyed the practice today. I hope your hips feel good. Yes, this virtual world is our future. It is a wonderful thing, and especially if you living in Calgary and we've got all the snow, it's going to be lovely when it's -30 and we don't have to go out. If you're blessed to be traveling and you're somewhere warm, we're all very jealous and we're very grateful that you're still joining us. Thank you so much for making the effort to be here. I really appreciate you tuning in every week, and if it's your first time, I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope I see you again. Thanks, Sydney.